And we are back with another episode of the Warlock Horse.
Yes.
Okay, and we kicking it right off. Today we are talking about spirituality,
yes,
God, and gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's been a long time coming. We call ourselves the Warlock Horrors. We focus spirituality. We are spirituality focused.
Yes.
So it's only right that we dissect a few of these topics.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, these are all personal opinions, personal experience.
Yeah.
And we invite conversation. We invite your thoughts, your opinions as we dissect these topics.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to kick it right off with spirituality versus religion.
Mm-hmm.
What you got for that?
So what would you say, what would you say is the difference between like spirituality and religion? Because I always feel like spirituality is more like your relationship with God. Okay. And religion to me, this is my personal opinion. Don't tussle. But religion to me is like your relationship with the church.
Got it.
It's like kingdom building, just kind of abiding by their rules and stuff like that. That's how I felt like religion was.
Yes.
Spending 5 years in the church.
I agree with the religion part. Spirituality to me, spirituality is more about an personal relationship of getting to know yourself, because we are spirit. Yeah. We have spirits.
Yes.
And I made some notes here. I wanted to definitely kick it off with that. What is spirit? So on my exploration, something that stuck with me on my journey is spirit is a part of a person that is drawn to hope. So that little voice in us that's always like seeking the better outcome, remaining hopeful, knowing everything's gonna be all right. Like that is our spirit. We all have that. And spirituality is just diving deep within ourselves and learning every nook and cranny of ourselves. To me, that is what spirituality is about. There's no wrong way. It's an individual thing. Religion is more group thought, more group belief, with a set of rules. If proper procedures, we do things this way. You might be judged if you're not doing it that way.
Yeah.
Very black and white. Where spirituality is more flexible, more open to different things.
Yes.
That's my, I done tapped your straw, girl.
Oh.
I done tapped your straw, my bad. But that's my deciphering of that.
When I was in church, I used to date this guy in church, and we were talking about people who are spiritual, and he said that's pretty much like straddling the fence.
See?
Because people, I'm like, you know what?
So
I don't even know what to say.
You can be religious and not be spiritual.
Yeah.
You can go to church and know all the people in your church, know what the scripture going to be about, know all the songs they're going to sing on Sunday.
Yes.
But that doesn't make a person spiritual. Spiritual is your embodied, your self-embodied, your higher self-embodied.
Yes.
When you're practicing, when you have rituals, when you are, like you said, one-on-one communion with God.
Yes.
And that doesn't have to happen in the church. And that leads us to our next topic, which is seeking God outside of the church. How has that been for you?
That's been great for me. Like I started going, so a little bit of background. So 2012, after my ratchet year of being 21, I decided to start going to church. I don't know. I just woke up one morning and was like, I really want to start going to church. Went to a local church in my neighborhood, and it was great. I ended up joining the same day that I visited, which was cool. I brought a friend with me. And it's crazy because around that time I actually got into a car accident. So I missed that following Sunday and then came back again. And then I've been like committed ever since. I was so like deep involved in church to where like I was part of like the Sunday school. I was working in the daycare and stuff like that. I was involved, Bible study, like you name it, youth ministry, all that.
You was involved, yeah.
Yes, I was involved. And then I ended up leaving 5 years later. Some people ask me like what happened and stuff like that. do I really want to get deep into that story? Is there a transparent moment for me?
Is that, if you want it to be, you already know how we get down.
So you're right.
Talk about it.
So I stopped going to church because I felt like they were picking on me for little things, to where it was getting to a point where I was completely turned off. Like it started off when I posted something about looking for a job. I was like, yo, I should get into bottle service or whatever. But I wasn't like being serious. I don't want to do no bottle service job. So somebody screenshot it and sent it to one of the elders, and the elders pulled me aside and talked to me about it. And I'm just like, well, who told you? Who screenshot my page? And they didn't want to tell me. So I'm like, y'all trying to look out for the younger people, but then like y'all being messy at the same time.
Yeah.
So that was strike one. Then I was singing. I was also in choir. I was also on the praise team, like singing lead and stuff like that. So one day when I was on stage performing, they saw that I wore skinny jeans, but it was like appropriate, like church, attire appropriate.
Yeah.
But they didn't like my skinny jeans. So another elder pulled me to the side.
Shame.
And was like, you're distracting our husbands. She really said that.
Wow.
Yes.
And that is what is keeping people from the church these days. Because church is necessary. Church doesn't look like how we think it needs to look.
Exactly.
Church can happen anywhere. You don't need no pit. You don't even need a building. Church is just the experience and the joining.
Experience. Yeah. It's just, there's strength in numbers. But, when there's people that are messy behind the scenes, it makes it hard, because it's like the world is already messy as it is. Why is church not a safe space? Strike 3 was when like I did a photo shoot for Soul, right? This was for her clothing line. And
shout out to Soul.
Yeah, shout out to Soul.
Vintage Extinction.
Oh man. And it was a cute, like I was wearing this little bad cat suit or whatever, but it was tasteful and it was appropriate. Yeah. And the younger people in the church, like they gave me compliments and stuff. They knew I model. So somebody decided to screenshot it and sent it to the bishop's wife. And the stuff that she was saying to me was like, she made it sound like I was doing porn or something. Like just the way, like she was like, aren't you worried about what people say about you? I'm like, so I could care less what people say about me.
I'm sorry that you experienced that.
Yeah, like it was just it was like back
judgment.
To back.
Yes. It sounds like pure judgment.
Yeah.
And what makes it even sad, what makes it more sad to me is church, their intentions probably were, they in their minds, they probably thought they're looking out for you because they know best, because this is God's way.
Exactly.
When really it's tainted with their own perception, because their own fears of how they may be perceived. But it's a shame.
It was crazy.
And it happens.
Like I even was in a relationship with someone in the church too, and that was another issue. I'm not going to get deep into that, but we ended up, we didn't work out, and we ended up breaking up maybe 8 months later. And she decided to bring that up, like, oh, well, maybe that's why he left. And I don't remember what she said word for word, but she was implying that. Like, I would never forget that. And I'm just sitting here like, I know this bitch did not just say, like, that's the reason why he left me. And I'm like, okay. I just sat there and let her talk. I was like, I'm not going to argue, not in the church or whatever. I'm not going to, give her that kind of power. Yeah. So I left, and she was like, I'll see you on Sunday. And I was like, okay, and never came back. Yeah. So it's been since 2017.
I don't blame you. And that's not to say that all church are that way, but a lot of churches within our community are that way. There's a lot of archetypes and just different traditional ideas that they have. A lot of
these churches, and this is the reason why the younger generation barely goes to church now, is because like the elders and the deacons, the older generation want to take over everything, and they still instill their toxic beliefs onto the younger generation. We're a lot different.
Limiting
beliefs. And limiting those beliefs too. Like we're a little more on the open-minded side. We want to do different things, and they're just not with it. They talk to us a certain way. Sometimes it's very condescending. Yeah. So that's why a lot of people leave the church and started to seek God, outside the church. And then once I left church, it was like I felt like I was more closer to God and not focusing on the building.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not focused on that cult anymore.
Yeah. It can lead to that feeling of just that cult-like collective environment, and it can be toxic. It's a shame because it shouldn't be. And I'm sure there are churches that are very welcoming and warm
and good churches, non-traditional. There are plenty of non-traditional youth churches that you guys can go to. I mean, I don't know any churches offhand besides There's one in LA.
Wow.
It's called One LA. I heard that's a very good mega church.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all I know. But if y'all know some, definitely shout them out on Instagram, tag me, whatever.
I can't say that I'm with you as far as I think the last church I went to was Alpha Baptist over here, and that was for a funeral. Over here in Willenboro. That was for a funeral. And that was years ago. I think I talked about this on another episode. In the programs that I was in, we had the opportunity to go to church on Sundays. We would all load up on the vans and go to church. And I sung in the choir. I did Bible studies and things like that. But I was young. And it was inspiring. And it was cool to, have the community and stuff. But it wasn't until I sat still. It wasn't until I sat still with myself and things just didn't make sense to me. Because I'm naturally a curious person. I like to challenge myself, challenge my own beliefs, question things like, well, who said this was the way? Or why is this right and this is wrong? So I've always been rebellious in that way.
Exactly. I ask a lot of questions like, okay, why can't we question God? That doesn't make sense to me. It's like certain things that I would read as far as like Christianity, it was like certain things just wasn't adding up. Yeah. And that's how I felt. Yeah. So the more I started looking into everything, I'm just like, this ain't really for me. And this ain't for me.
That's the key. It's not for you. I know some Christian people. I just met a mentor through the Zumba certification program. Shout out to Alana. She's a strong, diehard Christian. She believes her purpose is to just raise awareness and talk about God's love. Yeah. But when she does it with grace. She's not here to shove any of her beliefs down your throat. She's just talking about the blessings.
Exactly.
The blessings,
and that's how it should be. It shouldn't be like, I'm running up on you trying to be like, oh, you ain't
sinner.
saved?
Yeah.
When was the last time you been in church? Come to my church. Like, I'm not trying to strong arm you to come to my church.
Yeah. And just to be clear, God is everywhere.
Exactly.
And this is something I teach my kids. If you go on my Instagram page, you'll see a conversation between me and my son. My son is asking questions like, does God, I have a mom and dad. Does God have a mom and dad? What made God? You know what I'm saying? So it's like does God have, we have ancestors. Does God have other God ancestors?
Right. Those were like one of my hit the blunt moments.
Right. And even on the video, you'll hear me say, I don't know if we're allowed to think this way. Right. But it's like, how can I shut my creative, open-minded son down when he's like freeing his mind?
Exactly.
To me, I think that's brilliant that he thinks that way at 10.
As he should.
But you don't have to seek God in a building. God is all around us. God is in everything. And God,
plenty of ways you can see God.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's another thing. God, some people refer to it as he, some people call it Mother Nature.
Yeah.
I refer to it as it. Sometimes if I'm deep in conversation and I'm just excited, I might say he because that's what I've been raised. Father, archetypes and things like that. But it's really a presence, intelligent force. We can't really, we don't have a face for it. Like Dre Lloyd said in the last episode, it's like we talk about our Father's hand. God don't got no hand. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody knows if there's any hands or a face.
Nobody knows.
So don't limit yourself. Yeah. Definitely question or just be open. Stay open, and you can seek God everywhere. I find God in nature.
Me too.
The most. Within and in nature.
And honestly, like when I started seeking God outside of church, I felt like I could be more of myself with God. I don't need anybody to tell me how to pray, how to do this, how to praise him. I can praise him in my own way. Yes. And I do believe that God is accepting no matter what. I know in church, they, when you come into the front or whatever, they want you to shout and yell and everything. And they will tell me like, if you don't shout, then God can't hear you.
You said that before,
then who's to say that God can't hear me?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. He's going to ignore me because I'm whispering? That doesn't make sense.
See, I believe that we are all expressions of that source. Yes. We are all just like you see an octopus with multiple tentacles. Like God is the head and we are all like the tentacles, just feeling things out for the experience. I don't know what the purpose is. Yeah. Hopefully just to create a better world for what's to come. But we don't really have answers. And all I know is that I need to be intentional. And I need to make sure that I'm not hurting people. Exactly. And everything is energy. Yeah. And things are either going to feed and nourish my energy. And then in return, I'm helping others. Or it's going to drain me. And then I'm a terrible person. That's all I know. That's all I know.
Exactly.
Talking about prayer.
They're like, wait a minute, what? She bashing the church? I'm not bashing the church. We're not bashing the church.
Know the people who tap in already know what's up.
Exactly.
Okay, and especially talking about people who tap in, thank you.
And hit dogs holler too. So if you one of them toxic people in the church, then I am talking about you. Okay,
for you.
Exactly.
And I'm a letter. That's between y'all. Listen.
Oh well, tussle with your mother.
Ooh. Ooh. Repent for your sins.
Got up there was like,
let me shut up because that's passive aggressive. That's toxic of me. I wanted to talk about prayer though. So the way that I was raised, you know, my auntie, shout out to Auntie Gail, she used to always tell me every morning, wake up, say thank you, Jesus, thank you. And I did that. But it wasn't until maybe 6 years ago I understood there's multiple forms of prayer, and people want to negotiate and bargain with this God energy. They want to, if you do this, I'll do this. If we can get this, then I promise I won't do this. But it's like, that's not how it works. You don't pray when you're in need or when you lack in something.
Exactly.
To me, prayer to me is use me. Use me. That's prayer to me.
Yes. Or guide me.
Guide me.
Guide me. I always say guide me. Like, I always thank God first when I pray. I always thank God first for everything.
Thank
Blessings
you.
Seen and
Gratitude.
unseen. And then I
make
start.
it clear.
Yeah, I make it clear what I want. I definitely need your guidance.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
When I was a little kid, I'll be like, God, please give me a puppy. If you give me a puppy, I'll get straight A's in school. I promise.
See?
But no, that's not how it works.
But there are adults that pray that way. Yeah. They only pray when they're in need. You know, when it's a 911 emergency, and that's when they want to call on that. But it doesn't work like it's. First of all, you could do whatever you want to do. First of all,
right?
But it's always available to us. That power, that comfort, that security, that energy is always available to us, you know? And the way that we pray is very important. The way that we're communicating with it, the energy that we're going to it. I believe in going empowered to God.
Yes.
Go to God with empowerment, knowing everything's going to be okay. Yes. I trust you fully. I surrender, and I know that it's being worked out in the highest realm. Right? That's the way to pray. We don't go to pray. We don't go like beggars with low, fearful energy, because then it's like you're from a place of lack, and it's like you can't see all the blessings I done already gave you, and you coming to me like this,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So people, and that's another thing when we talk about embodying spirit, and they're like, I can't fuck with them people. What about forgiveness? What about how forgiving God is to us, or source is to us?
Exactly.
And we just out here destroying our home, destroying our planet, but yet we get so much grace. We get so much forgiveness, so much space to fuck up.
God forgives us when we don't deserve it sometimes. And that's how I feel.
But that's the thing. We do deserve it.
Yeah.
Because we were created to fuck up.
Exactly.
This is all an experimental ride, a learning journey. So it gets really confusing. And it comes down to the relationship with ourselves, because through the relationship with ourselves is how we become closer, and we can hear those whispers from spirit.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's seeking God outside of church.
Yes. Yes, girl.
Why is spirituality and the use of natural elements demonized?
Girl, I don't even know. It's like, I feel like, and this is stuff that I be seeing like on social media, and people talking about how crystals and using sage and stuff like that is demonic, as if like none of this hasn't been used since like way back when. Like since way back when. A lot of these spiritual practices have been around since like back in the indigenous days. Like, you get what I'm saying? Before religion too. And it's like, I feel like if it doesn't say Jesus on it, then it's demonic. And people just need to open their minds and understand that, there are other ways to worship spirit, God. There are ways to, be in tune with your spirituality other than just going to church and reading the Bible. There's so much more. Much more to this world. And there's different cultures that follow other different things and different methods and stuff like that. And it's like, it's not about you.
Not at all.
It's not about you.
And nobody has to do everything the same. There are different avenues to the same destination.
Exactly.
I like that. There's different paths to the same location.
Exactly. See? Yeah. Boom, quote that.
I feel like it's demonized. Spirituality and natural elements are demonized because people fear what they don't understand. People fear what they don't understand. Yeah. And when people grow up under a certain ideology and all they're given is a book, and they're like, everything you need is in this book. Yes. If you do anything outside of this book, it's not real. Yeah. It's not okay. It's a sin. And that's where the limitations come, when it's like, you're looking at a book, but we were given the whole world. Like, there's signs and messages and guidance all around us all the time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The stones, the sage, the Palo Santo, they all represent something. Now, yes, I am a spiritualist. I'm all about the journey and stuff like that. But I also am a human, and I understand different formulas, right? Right. So say if I have this Palo Santo, to me, this represents inviting wisdom in. This is protection. This is cleansing of the space, the aura, right? Right. I could burn a toothpick. You understand? I could burn a toothpick and still set that same intention, and it'll be just as powerful because I am the instrument. I am the instrument. This Palo Santo is cool. It's traditional. It represents something very beautiful in multiple cultures. But at the end of the day, everything that we need to tap into that source is inside of us.
It's inside of you. It's all intention, because if you don't set that intention, everything is just an aesthetic. Yes. Including a Bible.
Yes.
Anything including the Bible. Including the Bible, including Holy your water, prayers.
A cross, all of it, just
you
aesthetics.
Could be a Bible thumper all you want, but if you don't have that good intention, then all that is just an aesthetic. What are you using it for? To make it look good? Yes. You get what I'm saying?
And it's cool. We use it. I use it because it's a mental technique.
Exactly.
For me, it's a mental technique. The only thing that I feel I really need is meditation. Mm-hmm. Meditation is what makes me feel the most clear. Right. When I meditate. Mm-hmm. That's my brain. That's my emotions. That's my energy, you know. But these other things, the fragrance, the aromatherapy, the crystals, what they represent, it's all mental technique to make sure that my mind is staying focused on my intention.
Exactly.
So we are the instrument. Mm-hmm. We are the connect. We are the cord that plugs into that outlet of source energy.
Exactly. And honestly, and I be seeing people, you know, bashing other religions and other spiritualities and stuff like that. I personally feel like if you were more secure in your relationship with God, you wouldn't be worried about how other people worship God. Yeah. So be secure in yourself. That takes work. Your relationship with God. Work. I know that's a hell of a journey.
It's a lot of unlearning.
Yes.
You can't be afraid of that unlearning.
And you shouldn't, like,
it's gonna be scary.
Exactly.
Because you're gonna question everything you're ever thought.
Exactly.
You see me, I was born Carmen Lowe. At this point, I'm 2 seconds. I'm a second away from going down to the courthouse and changing my name because Carmen Lowe doesn't resonate with everything I had to unlearn.
Exactly.
I have created this version of myself, and I feel closer to God than I ever have. And my experiences in my life proves that I am closer to God because things just always work out. Right. Girl, I be stressing, and it's like a blessing. And it's like, yo, like, what do I be worried about? Right. Everything always works out because my intention is pure. I don't hurt people. I stay focused, and I'm walking in what I believe to be my purpose. Right. My purpose reveals itself to me through the synchronicities, through the new connections. And it's like, oh, I feel obligated to do this. I feel like I need to do this. Oh, this must be my purpose. Alignment. Right. You feel me? That lets me know I'm close to God, and the universe is conspiring in my favor.
Exactly. So be secure in your relationship with God, and you won't feel like you're on this high horse judging other people who worship differently than you.
That's what religion does.
Yes, because when you die, God will not ask you about me. So worry about you. Okay?
Okay. Hey, yo. What was Yaya doing down there? Like that force doesn't already know.
Yeah,
the force is here with all of us at the same time.
Like, why are you so pressed on what other people are doing?
What happened to the plants? Run the camera back. The plants just did something. What happened?
Nah, I see some shit too. Look. Is that the plant?
Oh, little leaf. Yeah, let's keep that.
Oh,
I don't know what's happening.
I saw something in the corner of my eye, and I was like,
okay,
God.
that was spirit.
He's like, yeah.
Listen. Okay, so since we're talking about these natural elements, right? It's only right that we break a few down. Yes. Right now, sage is very popular within the spiritual community. Palo Santo, Florida water, pendulums, tarot cards, oracle cards, crystals, and some herbs. These are all natural elements that you can use for divination, for clarity, to cleanse, to protect. And like I said, it's like we said, it's all about the intention. It's all about the intention.
All the intention, yeah.
I wanted to talk about specific cinnamon. So some of these things you can use, you probably have them in your kitchen. Cinnamon, you can burn cinnamon for abundance and prosperity. It invites in wealth. That's what cinnamon does. Rosemary, you burn that. That's supposed to, or it's said to promote mental clarity. Basil for health and protection. Chamomile for peace and purification. Now, these are herbs. You can make them in tea and just kind of meditate and sip the tea with the intention of, please bring clarity. Remember, this is all energetic work. This is all energy manifesting. Yarrow, wisdom, courage and protection. Sage, purification. Rose, you said you love rose.
I love rose.
Rose petals represent love, happiness, and friendship. You can sprinkle these in your bath with some Epsom salt.
I boil my rose petals and I use it in my hair. Beautiful. I cleanse my scalp with it. I drink rose water.
Beautiful.
Drink rose water. I'm telling you, it's really good for you. It helps ease your anxiety symptoms.
Yes. So there are also medicinal benefits to these herbs as well. Right now I'm just focused on the spiritual, but definitely do some research. As far as crystals go, crystals, they can be used for things like protecting your space. I recently just learned about, I'm reading a book called Managing Psychic Abilities. We're going to get into psychic abilities and gifts and things like that later on. I just want to start with, I believe we all have that sixth sense. That sixth sense. We talk about sight, smell, taste, touch, hearing, but nobody talks about the mind, the knowing. That is the sixth sense, our intuition. When we strengthen that, we can tap in and have psychic potential. And it happens all the time where you might speak a thought out loud and somebody's like, I was just thinking that. It's all information around us, and the more sensitive we become to it, the more we strengthen it, the more clearer you are. But we are going to talk more about that. But as far as crystals go, there's a thing called warding that you can do with crystals, where you protect your space, putting things in corners of your home, certain crystals. You carry them in your pockets. I carry them in my pockets, not as much. I'm finding that, and I think I talked to you and Lionel about this not too long ago. I was religious with my practices and my rituals, waking up in the morning, meditating, setting intentions, picking crystals to carry with me through the day. I feel like I'm in a more open space where I don't depend on those things anymore. The more free you become, or the more okay you become with your personal relationship, you don't depend on these things so much, because you really don't need them. They're just reminders. There are like Dalmatian jasper. You can use that for tolerance, playfulness. Rose quartz, gentleness, a loving heart. Labradorite, if you want to promote more consciousness. Selenite, a cleansing stone. Citrine is good for.
I have selenite. I like selenite.
Also I have a note here. Clutter creates mental chaos. Make sure you prepare your space before you do rituals and certain practices, because little things, and this could be my trauma, but when certain areas are cluttered, I can't think. I feel as though it's chaotic. So when you keep your space clean, that's feng shui as well. That's Asian tradition as well. Just a clean space invites spirit in, invites those little whispers from the wind. I know I probably sound crazy, but thoughts come. We are visual, creative, imaginative. We are a species that just envisions. We have great vision. When our space is organized and there's order, where our senses are heightened. You know, it's like a clear space. Okay. I guess we could dive into intuition and the natural instincts. Intuition. What is intuition to you, Yayeezy?
Intuition is kind of like not just knowing what happens next, but just kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know where I was going with what I was about to say.
It's all good.
Just knowing, just being like, just knowing where you feel that, you kind of feel it like that gut feeling.
Yes.
that sense of anxiety, the dreams, like you just kind of know that things can come to pass.
Yes, I'm glad you said dreams.
Yes.
Dreams, that falls under like the clairvoyance that shows up a lot with dream work and stuff like that. To me, intuition.
I feel triggers.
You do?
Yeah.
Explain that.
So
like feelings?
Yeah.
So that's clairsentient.
So yeah, that's what that is.
Clairsentient.
So I was
feel,
told I was clairsentient. Yeah.
You feel you have referred to yourself as an empath as well before too. That is when you can sense the energy in a room.
I can sense energy in a room. Definitely. And I can also sense when something ain't right either.
Yeah.
Like if someone's trying to play me in my face and they're trying to be like sneaky with it, for example, I get bad anxiety. Yeah. Like this was,
That's
I
what
knew
you
this
meant by triggers.
Yeah. Like this was going back some years ago and I knew my man was cheating on me at that time, my ex. And I wasn't around him. I didn't see nothing. I had no proof. But all of a sudden I started crying out of nowhere and I had an anxiety attack. And then I found out.
You see, on an energetic level though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you, people think I'm crazy, but I'm
no,
so
that's
serious.
not crazy. That's not crazy at all because you have to look at what we are. Okay. We are humans. First of all, our skin is our biggest organ, right?
Yes.
Our skin wraps around our whole body like a sock.
Yeah.
It's a sock. Under this layer, and I'm learning about this as I study anatomy. Haven't been big on it. As I learn more, I'll share with y'all. And also just understanding spirit. If you're spiritual, you have to understand what we are. We are humans. We have such an intelligent design. We have cells. We have nerve endings. And it's like connecting. It's like a spider web all over our whole body. Right. And it senses things. And you may not be able to visually see it. Yeah. But your body may have experienced similar energies to that. And your body is reacting to that. It's like, hold up. You may not know it yet, but we know. Your body knows information before your brain can register it because it's just a sensor. We are fucking sensors out here interacting with each other.
And your body will always remember trauma too.
Yes,
Body always remembers trauma.
Where's that? I got that book over here. When the body says no, because it keeps score.
Yes.
The body is talking to us all the time.
Yes.
But I want to say, intuition, like you said, gut instinct. Sometimes our intuition is that voice that is like, you've had enough. Yes. Sometimes our intuition is a voice we don't want to hear. Yeah. Because it tells us things and it's like, I'll be all right. Just one more. Just let me just see. But your intuition is screaming at you. Sometimes it's whispering to you. But it's usually the voice that's telling you is going against what your desire is. The intuition is with you through life. And you strengthen that intuition by when you get those impulsive thoughts, you act on it. Of course, you need to know if this is healthy or unhealthy. It's a lot of levels to this. But the way to strengthen your intuition is through meditation, through acting on those positive, impulsive thoughts that come. And like you said, it's like a gut feeling.
And trust it and learn to just trust your intuition. A lot of people don't. We second guess ourselves and then we're like, dang, we should have listened to ourselves the first time.
It takes a lot of practice.
Yeah, it does. It takes a lot of practice.
Yeah. I saw a meme the other day. It was like, so wait, what that should say? It says something along like, so you mean to tell me your intuition been telling you, so why you ain't know? So how you ain't know? Because it's like we want to ignore. We want to ignore our intuition because it's telling us things we don't want to hear.
Yeah, and then we end up giving things grace that don't need to be given grace to.
Yes.
We ignore red flags. We ignore everything.
Meditation helps strengthen.
Yes.
Okay. Intuition is not going to be emotional. That's one thing that I'm learning as well on this spiritual journey. Emotions block a lot of our senses.
Yes.
Emotions blind us. Emotions, it's like trying to see through boiling water.
Right.
It's like, because it's like things are just, we're not able to see clearly because our hormonal reactions are putting us into survival mode.
Dang, I didn't even think about it like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So your intuition is not going to be emotional. Your intuition ain't going to tell you to go drive by and slash somebody's tires. Okay. Your intuition is going to say very calmly, you need to stop. You need to leave this person alone. Like your intuition is very subtle, but knowing.
Yes.
And that comes with discernment. You're going to have to learn and practice and exercise that. It is a muscle with meditation and self-observation. You know what I'm saying? You also got to learn your own toxic traits because sometimes it could be trauma and not your intuition. It could be your trauma talking to you, telling you, don't trust this. Yeah. But you need to trust it. It's just an old experience that's still playing out in your life that's preventing you from trusting. But your intuition is like, this is okay. But your trauma is like, I don't know. Right. You know? So it takes a lot of discernment. And we are here for the conversation. If you want to hit us up in the DM, we are here to give guidance, to give resources.
Right.
We out here learning too. We are not professionals. We just like you. We focus on these things because it's a lifestyle for us.
Right.
Let's talk about the clairs. So getting into psychic abilities. You want to read what they are?
Yes.
The 4 clairs.
This drink went down the wrong pipe.
How many pipes you got in there, girl? a pipe for juice.
A pipe for juice.
A pipe for drinks. A pipe. Come on.
Yes. Oh my God. So clairaudient, hearing, sensitive hearing, ringing ears, hearing thoughts. Okay. So clairaudient is like you can, trying to explain it. I've been told I'm a clairaudient too, because if you are really in tune with your spirituality, you can hear a very faint voice, and that could be spirit or God talking to you. Yeah.
Clairaudient for me. So I've been told that I have very sensitive hearing. For me, that shows up. I'll be in the middle of talking or doing something, walking through the mall, then all of a sudden my ear will go ding, like I'll hear something. When that happens, because of my experiences with that, that's telling me slow down and look around, take in your surroundings, because right now a download is coming. Yeah. There's information around you that you need to be paying attention to. So just do a room scan, do a body scan. Spirit is trying to get in touch with you.
Yeah, be in tune, because
hearing bells. I've meditated before.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this happened the other day. I'm doing the dishes downstairs and I heard something say, Mom. Like something said, Mom. Ooh. Not even seconds later, my daughter comes down the stairs. She's like, Mommy, look. So it was like spirit was telling me, your daughter's about to come talk to you. Yeah. It's like a knowing of things. But in this sense, it was hearing. It came through sound. The bells, having sensitivity to sound. That has been my experience with clairaudient. Clairvoyant, seeing. That means that your sight, you have sight. Understanding visual messages, dreams, visions. You make sense and decode of visions. Messages come to you through visions. It might come as a thought, very vivid. Certain signs, you could decode certain signs. And know that something is about to happen, or you're going to hear from somebody because certain things remind you of that. Sometimes it's in hindsight. A lot of times spirit, I'll see signs and I'll pay attention and I'll say, okay, I'm supposed to note this. Oh, I'm on the right track. And then later on, a week later, something will click and it'll be like, holy shit, that's what that was. Yeah. For instance, I see color. So I'll meditate, I'll see a color or something, I'll think of color. Then I'll go somewhere the next day and a very important part of that day, that color will be everywhere. And it'll be like, holy shit. And it sounds crazy to say things like this, but people in my life can vouch and can say Carmen's not bullshitting because she be knowing shit. And it'd be weird. But sometimes it's in hindsight, but you got to pay attention. Yeah. You're not crazy. We are not crazy. We have just been taught to think a certain way and to depend on outside sources for information instead of learning what we are and understanding what these things are that happen within us. Okay. We're all connected. We are all connected and everything is information and we are antennas. I know that sounds fucking crazy, but
no, it makes sense though. It makes perfect sense.
So that's the clairvoyant, seeing, clairsentient. That's what we just talked about.
Clairsentient, yes. I've been told I've been clairaudient and clairsentient.
Yes.
Feeling, empath, aware of others' emotions, sense environments, energy. Yes.
So when you go in a room and you can sense that things are off, when somebody tells you they're fine, but you kind of sense that something's off, that means that you have strong empathetic, you have that empath sense, that clairsentient feeling.
You can sense the energy, good and bad, around people. You can actually feel it physically too. So it's not even just like a sense, it's more like a body reaction too.
Yes.
I normally feel that, like, if I'm around good energy, then I feel like I could be myself and everything. Now, when I can sense something is off, I feel like I get like sharp pains in my stomach, little things like that.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
That is.
Like, I'm not oblivious to like what's going on with my surroundings at all. Like, that's
but you have to be that way.
Yeah.
You have to listen to your body, because your body is your compass. Your emotions is your compass. Like, the whole purpose is to stay in alignment. Some things aren't going to feel good. You're not always going to feel good, because that is not the experience that we are. Earth is a wild ass place. Of course, it's what we make it, but sometimes unfortunate shit happens, right? But our main goal is to get through things with a positive perspective. Yes. Learn from it, grow from it. But you need to listen to your body, because your body is speaking to you. Environments hold energy. Yes. And if you are feeling anxious, you need to pay attention to that, because it means that something is not safe. Either you've been in something similar or the energy does not match yours, and you need to just move around, and that's okay, because everything is not for everybody sometimes.
Right. Exactly.
Claircognizance is a knowing. To me, that's like inclined intuition, deja vu. Lucky guesses often being right. That happens for me.
Yeah, I was just about to say, this is you.
Yeah. So
it's definitely you.
What I believe, though, I think we all have this. I feel like that is my purpose. That's a part of my purpose. I don't know what my entire purpose is, because it's unfolding as I continue on this journey. But I am here to really let the people know, like, we are no different. You may be intimidated because you may feel like you're not as developed as some psychics you see on TV. Right. We all have the same build. We all have the same abilities. It's all muscle work.
We all have
you have
spiritual
to practice
abilities
and train. Practice and train. Yeah. Let me tell you, I couldn't deadlift shit until I got with Yaya, and I could deadlift a little bit because I practice and I exercise.
Right.
Meditation, we'll get to that at the end of this episode, but you can strengthen these gifts if you practice intentionally focused on strengthening. And there's certain visualizations you could do. And we could talk about that when we get to the energy work and stuff like that. But we all have these gifts. There is no exclusions. Yeah. You just have to want to tap into this. And I was talking to my partner, is sometimes you wake up, you have these spiritual awakenings, and it doesn't just happen once. It happens over and over again. It's death, rebirth. And sometimes people feel like, I had a spiritual awakening and that's it. No, it's going to happen again. And there's no wrong way. There's no wrong way. And just because I'm good at one thing doesn't mean that you cannot be good at one thing too. You have to practice and strengthen that.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, and you can ask it to go away too. If it gets overwhelming, that's what I was going to say. Me and my partner talk about this. If it gets overwhelming and you start to feel, because sometimes it gets, you might feel like you're going crazy. Yeah. Because it's not the normal conversation that we're used to.
Right.
But it is what it is. It's.
Did you feel like you were like more in tune with your spiritual abilities in 2020?
So for me, it started sooner. It started sooner for me because I got I think I talked about this on the show. 2020 is when coronavirus happened. A lot of people were forced to sit down and be still.
That's what I think it is. Yeah.
I've been forced to sit down and be still for the majority of my life because I was in jail cells and detention centers and sitting by myself. So you understand? I've had more time to be by myself before coronavirus hit.
Right.
I learned how to meditate in 2018, I believe. And then that's when I got pregnant with my daughter. I had my daughter too. No, 2017 is when I discovered mindfulness.
Right.
And that's what made me really slow down and look at myself. And that's when my spirituality started kicking. It wasn't until I learned to meditate in 2018. Yeah. That's when I started to like really feel like I thought I was losing my fucking mind. I was sitting in my closet. I created an altar, like I was seeing some very vivid things that I know I was not imagining. Yeah. Walking in rooms and lights flickering because energy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Candles going out and then relighting.
Right.
I can't explain these things. People coming up to me and feeling like they could just tell me all their problems like they've known me all their lives.
Right.
I've never had a reading by anybody. You know what I'm saying? Still to this day, the only person I've ever really had a reading from was the shaman that I went to. And that felt like an activation. It felt like an initiation. It didn't feel like I went for a reading. I went for a reading and she ended up telling me, you need to do this. You need to do this. You're a natural energy healer. things like that. But I believe we all have that gift.
Yeah.
It's just,
we do. We're just not still. I feel like life distracts us a lot from these things.
I also feel like trauma heightens. Some trauma, it accelerates our spirituality. When you experience trauma from an early age and you experience a lot of loss and you have a lot of hardship, you're probably more sensitive to things and energies. And it's a gift and a curse, but you turn that pain into power, and you use that pain to connect with something that's higher. You know what I mean? I feel like us that have been through harder things, you know, I feel like we have a mission to let people know we can overcome, we are resilient, we can get through. And these gifts like the clairaudience, the clairvoyance, they're all built into all of us. It's built into all of us.
Right.
No, there's no person that's better than the other. It's just about your intention and how far you're willing to go. What else is there? Let me look at my notes. I know I made notes for
energy
work. I definitely, did I say I made little notes? Okay, I wanted to talk about surrendering. Surrendering. And this is something that I'm working on every day. Judgment, having expectations. I'd like to say that I don't judge people, but I judge people. I may not judge them out loud, but I judge people. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a human thing. That's a survival thing. I need to know if this is safe. I need to know if I can fuck with you. But judgment blocks our purity. Judgment blocks. Having expectations leads to suffering. When we suffer, our vibration is low. We're not able to get those divine whispers that tell us, you need to talk to this person. You need to go here tomorrow because, you know, and that's why it's all about just clearing your vessel. And I'm a work in progress. It comes down to the food you eat, the people you hang around, what you're doing for a living, your thoughts that you choose to amplify, questioning your beliefs, like all of that plays a part in your energy and how clear you are for that guidance to come through. Okay, we can get into energy work. Oh, we're running through this episode. How long we been shooting for? Are you serious?
That's good.
That's crazy. Energy work. Energy cleansing.
I like to fast.
Yes.
I fast.
Okay.
I'll do intermittent fasting. Like, I won't spend a whole day of not eating, but I'll do intermittent fasting.
What happens when you fast? What do you feel?
I feel clarity.
Yes. Energized?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. And it gets tough, too, because it's like, I'm kind of hungry. I want a cheeseburger. But no, it actually does feel good. And there was a time where I did fast for like an entire day.
Okay.
Before, like 24 hours. No food. I just drank water and that was it.
Yeah.
And I felt great.
Yeah.
I actually felt really good. And then there's some days where I start to feel myself saying to myself like, yo, you need to do this again.
Yeah.
Like for a few days, for at least a week. I want to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really dope.
Fasting for health purposes alone, I need to get back to that. I haven't been. I've been going through so many different transitions that I'm just balancing right now and not beating myself up through it. But fasting has so many benefits as far as like on a cellular level. I think we talked about this for our health and wellness episode.
Right.
But definitely spiritually, it's like a discipline. It's a sacrifice. I know when I worked for a place called Ilka Marble and Granite, I worked for a Turkish family, and some of the other workers in there celebrated Ramadan. Yeah. And when I was in facilities and I was around other Muslims and they were doing Ramadan, I thought it was just about food and just, you know, the sacrifice of food. But when I worked at Ilkum, they explained to me it's not just food. You can fast on sex. You can fast on lying. You can fast, like, it's just the sacrifice of the worldly temptations, the worldly things. It's saying, it's coming to the higher power and saying, I don't need any of this before you. I will lay it all down. And then when the sun goes down, that's when they eat and they have sex or they lie, whatever floats their boat, right? But that's what it seems to be about. It's just that sacrifice to show like, you are all I need, spirit. God, you are all I need. I don't need anything. You nourish my soul. That's what that's a form of surrendering too.
Yeah, it is.
That's a form of surrendering. Surrendering feels so fucking good. It feels so good.
Yeah.
It's scary because it's like you don't know what's going to happen next. But when you surrender, it's like freedom. It's like, I'm not going to lose nothing. I have nothing else. I surrender. Do what you will. And then you might go through a current and get scuffed and bruised, but you ultimately, everything always works out.
Right.
Everything is always working out.
Yes.
For energy work, I'm a big believer in energy cleansing, spiritual hygiene. I talked about some of the herbs, some of the elements, natural elements that you could use. I believe in visualization. And I mean, when I say visualization, okay, like I said, our skin is a sock. I've been working on this specific meditation from the book that I've been reading by Mary Mueller Schutten, Managing Psychic Abilities. And it's for highly sensitive people with some sensitivities, things like that, to knowing the clairs, things like that, intuition. This specific meditation that you would do, touch your arm, rub your arm, rub your forearm, right? And become aware of your skin. You feel your skin? Now do like a skin scan. Imagine that all over. And just become aware of your skin everywhere. Wow. Now imagine that being a spider web, right? Spider web. Now imagine that spider web getting thicker. Yeah. Like you would meditate and visualize the nerves in your skin becoming thicker. You can even make it metal. Yeah. And there's different bodies. There's the physical body. There's the astral body. Yeah. There's the energetic body. There's different body forms that we have. Right. And you can visualize light around yourself, literally an egg shape of white light on some Dragon Ball Z shit before you leave the house. And just that mental exercise, you will not be triggered as much. I bet you, if you try this, you'll be more aware to the energy that you're allowed. Assign colors to people. Like if I'm looking at you, I see yellow. Like I'm looking at yellow. Yellow. I see yellow and you're just light. So it's like, I feel like you're safe to interact with. Assign colors to people and assign a color to yourself. Like these are all visual things that make you mentally stronger. It's good mental techniques to protect your energy because all day long we are being impacted by things we cannot see. Right. Different energies. I'm sitting here with you. You're carrying your mother's shit. You're carrying your father. You're carrying everything. You understand? Yeah. And not that you want to hurt me, but your energy might be too heavy for me. Right. So I have to make sure that it's my responsibility to make sure that I show up protected. So whatever you're carrying, I can make space for it and not be impacted. Right. Like that is very real. And Epsom salt baths. I'm a big believer in clapping. Like clapping clears, snapping. Like it's energy. You're just moving. You're moving energy around you, cleansing yourself. I probably sound like a fucking maniac. I don't care. But this is all. You might have heard of Reiki healing. Yes. I'm not educated very well in it, but that has to do with lights, certain hand motions, certain movements, and light healing, energy work, certain sounds, certain fragrances. It's all about protecting our temple, protecting ourselves. That's right. And meditation, to me, I'm an advocate for meditation. Meditation will change a person's life. And that's another thing. Like I would love to let people know, like meditation, there is no wrong way. There are wrong ways to meditate. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be drinking a bottle of wine and talking about this is meditation because I'm just relaxing. No, like you definitely want to have a sense of alert relaxation. Okay. Some people say you have to close your eyes. You don't have to close your eyes. You can just low gaze at a flame, but you want to make sure that you are fully relaxed, sunken into your seat, and then you're just observing the thoughts. You're observing yourself. It's like you are in that higher seat, observing yourself and not attaching to the thoughts, letting it just fly by like a cloud in the sky. But that is a tool to heightening that sense of self, that self-awareness, like that, which leads to that spiritual connection. Big advocate for meditation. What else, y'all, Yeezy?
You know what? Celibacy.
Yes.
Since we mentioned fasting from sex. Yes. Definitely celibacy. Yes. As hard as it is to stay away from that Disney.
Disney or vagina.
Yeah, the vagina. The pussy. Yeah. The pussy. It's very rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that when I don't have sex or if I don't masturbate, my creative energy is so focused.
Yeah.
I get so much shit done. I have so much. I'm like, don't touch me. I'm getting shit done.
Yes.
I got shit to do.
It feels good.
I got time to be rolling around in these sheets with you today, girl.
Yeah. And it's like you have a lot of clarity. Like sometimes sex and masturbation can fog judgment too.
Yes. Yes.
It fogs judgment. So sometimes you just need to stay to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's really a good idea too. Like
it is a good
try.
way. It is a good
I
way.
am not against celibacy at all. Definitely not against it.
Nothing wrong with celibacy.
Yeah, it's fasting. It's a form of fasting.
It'll strengthen your discipline. And
yes.
like we hear about athletes that don't have sex before games. You know what I'm saying? Because it will throw off their stamina. It'll throw off their decision making. It'll throw off, like you said, it'll cloud their judgment. So there's definitely some science behind that. The fasting.
You start reflecting on stuff. You start knowing your worth a little more. Then you kind of know what to pick and choose. You know what I mean?
Yes. That is the key. That is the key to the spiritual journey. Knowing yourself, knowing your worth, knowing that you are worthy and you deserve luxury.
Yes.
Don't have. That's another thing that I've been struggling with. It's like, and CG down at Charged Up. Shout out to CG.
Yeah.
I am so grateful for that relationship. You know, the trust that we're building, and she speaks into my life because when I first started this Connect with Karma journey, I'm doing everything for free. Meditation class free, all ages come in. She's like, who's looking out for you? Right. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, who am I to charge people for this information that I just found on my own, you know, just studying and stuff. She's like, no, you like, this is the work. And doing the episode with Dre Lloyd, the law of compensation, don't feel guilty for wanting nice things. Don't feel guilty for wanting to experience luxurious hotel rooms and traveling. That's not greedy. Exactly. We deserve those things. God wants us to have those things.
Even just like basic things like to survive, to eat, to pay bills and stuff like that. You deserve that. You know what I mean? Don't ever feel guilty for knowing your worth. Yeah. Your financial worth.
Yes.
Definitely.
We deserve that. And you got to speak those affirmations. Definitely. It takes a lot of self-reflection and boundaries. And this is one thing that I've been balancing with myself. I feel guilty sometimes because I'm not as available as my friends would like me to be. I be so focused. And like when I feel guilt, I'll get a text from one of them friends I'm thinking about, and they'll be like, Carmen, I love that you be so focused on you. Keep doing that. You're an inspiration. You know what I mean? I don't know how you do it, but it's like, I be struggling with guilt because it's like, I'm still human. Carmen, you are not anything other than human. Yes, you have a spirit. Yes, you have a purpose, but you are human. Yeah. Go live a little. Go play.
Exactly.
But there has to be balance. You definitely have to keep that time for self.
Like duality is important.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Integration.
Ew. We covered everything.
We did cover everything. Damn. Did I cover all the little notes? Because I made little separate notes. Life's purpose reveals itself through synchronicities. Oh, a question that we will leave with you guys. Are you chasing a dream that does not belong to you? Are you chasing, this comes with the unlearning and just getting to know yourself. A lot of times we are so confused about what we believe in and we just following what other people are saying to do because everybody's doing it. Riding the wave, exactly. Yeah. But are these your dreams? Is that your vision for yourself? Yeah. Are you just afraid to disappoint people? Are you afraid to raise eyebrows because they might look at you and be like, girl, what you sipping on? What you been smoking? Right. Or God, what the hell? Who do you think you are that you could question? No. Be true to you. Honor that calling inside. Strengthen your natural gifts that were given to you because we all have a job to do here. Yes. We were not all created to be here on this planet at the same time for nothing. You know, Dre Lloyd said something about this too, about us humans always having to believe in something and not just letting things be purposeless. Exactly. But we all do have a job here. Like all the ants in an anthill have a job. They're all doing something to make it work. Yeah. We all have a job here, and that's to raise the vibration. So do what you got to do.
To have compassion too.
We need
compassion to help people, to grow. Yes. We come here for like a learning experience.
Forgive. Yeah. Forgive. Yeah. Learn to forgive yourself.
To love.
Learn to forgive and love others and yourself. Trust more. Trust more. These little messages are coming in as we are wrapping up.
That's why we all have different stories, like different life stories, because it's like, I believe that, you know, we're meant to come here to learn from that story.
Yeah. Yes. Believe in yourselves. Believe in yourselves. And we got to wrap it up.
Me too.
Lionel not playing with us today. All right, y'all. You got anything else, y'all, Yeezy?
Yes, I do.
But go ahead.
But you know, one thing, when I mentioned the story, right, and I seen someone on TikTok say way back in 2020 was like a spiritual year.
Because it's a collective awakening, because everybody had to sit down.
Yes.
Which is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Like, I do believe this theory. This guy said that before we came onto this earth, we knew our story.
That's our contracts.
Yeah, we knew our story. So when we came here, you know, childbirth is traumatic. We don't remember a damn thing as soon as we pop out the womb. So we forget our story. But that's why we got deja vu. When we have deja vu, is because we already know the story.
That's why you're supposed to pay attention to those synchronicities and those random people that show up and it's like, are you sure we're not related? Like, you know, we are so alike. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're supposed to cling to those experiences and follow them through, because they lead to your next step, the next chapter.
Yeah.
Follow those synchronicities.
Yes, I wanted to bring that up so bad.
Very important.
It's very
good
important
shit
on your spiritual journey.
Yeah.
Is to learn your story.
Yeah.
I
think you did a good job. Come on,
girl.
This was a cool, easy episode. Hit us up.
Yes.
If there's any questions, any topics that you would like to see us discuss, be sure to hit us up. Send us a message. We see the numbers growing. We see the likes. I'm getting a lot of feedback. We getting a lot of feedback.
Right.
We appreciate y'all.
Yes.
We're here because of y'all. So let's keep it going.
Facts.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.